Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into one of the most dangerous and intense rivalries in the world right now, Israel versus Iran. Israel launched an expanded assault on Iran on Sunday, with direct strikes targeting its energy industry and defense ministry headquarters, while Tehran unleashed a fresh barrage of missiles blamed for the deaths of 4 people. The simultaneous strikes represented the latest salvo since a surprise attack by Israel 2 days earlier, aimed at decimating Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared, "Tehran is burning" in a post on X, alongside a video showing a massive fire illuminating the Iranian capital. His statement came after Iranian state media confirmed that an Israeli airstrike had struck an oil depot northwest of Tehran. Footage circulating online captured a large blaze with thick smoke billowing over the city. Israel and Iran exchanged fresh strikes overnight into Sunday, heightening fears of a broader conflict after Israel escalated its surprise offensive with a strike on the world's largest gas field. In response, Tehran suspended nuclear talks that Washington had described as the only path to halting Israeli airstrikes. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that the latest attacks were minor compared to what Iran could face in the coming days. Sirens sound in Ezuz, a small town in the south near the border with Egypt, warning of a possible drone infiltration. A number of sirens sounded earlier tonight in the Eilat area, as well as in the Jordan Valley area, amid drone infiltrations. A helicopter going from Dehradun to Kedarnath has gone missing in Gaurikund. The helicopter went missing between Trijuginarayan and Gaurikund, said Uttarakhand ADG Law and Order, Dr. V. Murugesan, according to the news agency ANI. The helicopter that went missing in Gaurikund has crashed. There were 6 people on board the crashed helicopter. More details awaited, said Uttarakhand ADG Law and Order, Dr. V. Murugesan. Pope Leo XIV, on Saturday, expressed concern over the Israel-Iran war and continued armed exchanges between the two sides over the next 24 hours. He appealed for responsibility and reason and commitment to build a safer world free from nuclear threats. In a post on X, he said on Saturday, "The situation in Iran and Israel has deteriorated drastically. I renew my appeal to responsibility and reason. The commitment to build a safer world, free from nuclear threats, must be pursued through mutual respect and sincere dialogue in order to build lasting peace founded on justice, fraternity, and the common good. No one should ever threaten the existence of another. It is the duty of all countries to support the cause of peace, initiating paths of reconciliation and promoting solutions that ensure security and dignity for all." The Sharan oil depot in Tehran was targeted in an Israeli attack, Iran said, but added the situation was under control. A fire had erupted after an Israeli attack on an oil refinery near the capital, while Israeli strikes also targeted Iran's defense ministry building, causing minor damage, the semi-official Tasnim news agency said on Sunday. American and Israeli officials have indicated that the conflict with Iran is expected to last weeks, not days, according to CNN. The operation reportedly has the implicit approval of the White House. with an Israeli official stating that the U.S. president supports the projected weeks-long timeframe. A U.S. official added that the Trump administration firmly believes this can be solved by continuing negotiations with the U.S., noting that the duration of the conflict will depend on Iran's actions. Iran's Revolutionary Guard claimed its missiles targeted fuel production facilities used by Israeli fighter jets, though Israel has not confirmed this, according to the Associated Press. Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif spoke with Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian, expressing Pakistan's unwavering solidarity with Iran after Israel's attacks, which he described as blatant provocations. Israel launched attacks on Iranian nuclear and military facilities on Friday. The strikes killed several senior military commanders and nuclear scientists. Iran later launched retaliatory strikes. In the telephonic conversation with Pezeshkian on Saturday, Sharif strongly condemned Israeli attacks against Iran that he said violated its sovereignty and territorial integrity and were in complete defiance of the UN Charter and international law. Spoke with President Dr. Masoud Pezeshkian of Iran today to express Pakistan's unwavering solidarity with the brotherly people of Iran in the face of Israel's unprovoked aggression, Sharif posted on X. An F-35 fighter jet of the UK Navy made an emergency landing at Thiruvananthapuram International Airport due to low fuel, reposts ANI. The aircraft is still there. More details awaited. Germany, France and Britain are ready to hold immediate talks with Iran over its nuclear program in a bid to de-escalate the situation in the Middle East, German Foreign Minister Johann Wadephul says. U.S. President Donald Trump said that the U.S. had no role to play in Israel's overnight attacks on Iran. He further warned Iran against any retaliation on U.S. assets, saying, "If we are attacked in any way, shape or form by Iran, the full strength and might of the U.S. armed forces will come down on you at levels never seen before." Seven drones launched at Israel were intercepted by the Israeli Air Force and Israeli Navy, the country's military said on Sunday. As per official news agency TPS, the Israel Defense Forces said that the country's Air Force and Israel Navy intercepted 7 unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, launched towards Israeli territory in the past hour this morning. The drones were all apparently launched from Iran, it said. The Times of Israel reported that the IDF released footage showing one of the interceptions by a Navy missile boat. The Israeli Air Force identified and struck several ballistic missile launches in Iran, the military said, attaching footage of the strikes. Tensions continued to escalate between Israel and Iran for the third straight day on Sunday, as the two sides launched attacks on each other overnight. Iran's top diplomat said Sunday that if Israeli attacks on his country stop, our responses will also stop. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi made the comment before diplomats in Tehran, his first public appearance since the Israeli strikes began on Friday. If the aggression stops, our responses will also stop, Araghchi said. There was no immediate reaction from Israel, which had been continuing strikes Sunday across Iran. Araghchi's appearance came on a day he was initially scheduled to be negotiating with the United States in Oman over Tehran's rapidly advancing nuclear program. But the negotiations fell apart amid the Israeli attacks. The Israeli military warned Iranians on Sunday to immediately evacuate military weapons production factories, likely signaling new strikes are coming. Kol Avichai Adrei, a military spokesperson, posted the warning on the social platform X in Iran's Farsi language. Adrei in the past has signaled other strikes in the Gaza Strip, Lebanon, and Yemen amid the Israel-Hamas war in the Gaza Strip. His warning came just after Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi signaled Tehran would stop its attacks on Israel if Israel stopped its strikes. Israel unleashed airstrikes across Iran for a third day on Sunday and threatened even greater force as some Iranian missiles evaded Israeli air defenses to strike buildings in the heart of the country. Planned talks on Iran's nuclear program, which could provide an off-ramp, were called off. The region braced for a protracted conflict after Israel's surprise bombardment of Iran's nuclear and military sites on Friday killed several top generals and nuclear scientists, and neither side showed any sign of backing down. Israel reportedly targeted a gas installation, raising the prospect of a broader assault on Iran's heavily sanctioned energy industry that could affect global markets. US President Donald Trump has expressed full support for Israel's actions, while warning Iran that it can only avoid further destruction by agreeing to a new nuclear deal. New explosions echoed across Tehran and were reported elsewhere in the country early Sunday, but there was no update to a death toll put out the day before by Iran's UN ambassador, who said 78 people had been killed and more than 320 wounded. Israeli stocks dropped on their first day of trading after Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's government began airstrikes against Iran, Bloomberg reported. Saudi Arabia's equity benchmark slid as concerns of a wider conflict gripped the region. The Tel Aviv Stock Exchange 35 index fell 1.5% at the open on Sunday, extending last week's 1.5% decline. The Tadawul All-Share Index slid 2.5%. Egypt's EGX 30 index sank 7.7%, the most in more than a year on a closing basis. The markets were closed on Friday. The latest sell-off came as Israel and Iran continued to attack each other's territories for a third day. On Friday, when the hostilities erupted, the shekel tumbled the most in 11 months, while oil prices surged 7%. The worsening conflict also sent shockwaves across financial markets, fueling a rush into traditional havens such as gold and dollar. The Congress on Sunday unequivocally condemned Israel's recent bombings and targeted assassinations on Iranian soil and said this attack on Iran's sovereignty and encroachment of its rights only deepens instability as well as sows the seeds of further conflict. The opposition party asserted that India must speak clearly, act responsibly, and use every diplomatic channel available to diffuse tensions and promote a return to dialogue. The Indian National Congress unequivocally condemns Israel's recent bombings and targeted assassinations on Iranian soil, which represent a dangerous escalation with grave regional and global consequences. Congress General Secretary in charge Communications, Jairam Ramesh, said in a post on X, "This attack on Iran's sovereignty and encroachment of its rights, whether through aerial strikes or covert killings, only deepens instability and sows the seeds of further conflict," he said.